Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 82, or 83. I forget, but you know because you just clicked on it. Today's guest is, oh my gosh, a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful soul, Heather, Activation Vibration. Good mutual friend of mine that I just had the pleasure of meeting for the first time during this episode. We had a great time. We talked about everything. Wow, she's got some cool stories, dude, from boxing at a young age to meeting aliens, you know, and other wonderful thoughts on creativity in the universe. Heather's a special soul. Love her so much. Had a wonderful time talking to her. I know you guys are going to like it. And before you enjoy that episode, please head to magnesiumbreakthrough.com/Brent Pella. Okay, to get the wonderful supplement, Magnesium Breakthrough from Bioptimizers, which is the sponsor of this podcast, and it's also a sponsor of my body and my health. Look at me. Look how healthy I am. Do you see on the video, or can you hear if you're only listening to audio? You can hear how healthy I am, and I attribute a lot of that to Magnesium Breakthrough from Bioptimizers. Get a discount plus a special gift and learn more about what magnesium does. I could tell you all the benefits right now, but you'd just be listening to a guy on the internet. So, you know, go to magnesiumbreakthrough.com/Brent Pella and learn yourself some knowledge, bro, about all the wonderful benefits of magnesium. Okay? And get a special discount. But enjoy, hey man, enjoy this episode. I'm stoked for Heather to join. We had a great time. We had a great talk about all kinds of awesome things. This is one of my favorite episodes, to be honest. We went deep, baby. So enjoy this episode with Heather, Activation Vibration. Welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome to my vibe spot.
Love it. Did it.
We're feeling good. We're feeling good today. I just got a IV drip.
Nice.
I literally just got it. It was really good.
What
I feel
vitamins?
like a superhuman. He put a shit ton of vitamin C, zinc, A, D, ton of B, and then this a couple other things that I can't pronounce, and then this thing at the end, something about NAD, something.
Yes.
It starts with a G. Glutathione.
Glutathione?
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, that's
Nice.
it. Yeah. So I got a bunch of that. Yeah.
Beautiful. I actually took some of that this morning.
Did you?
Yes.
And how do you take yours?
It's encapsulated.
Here, talking to like right into the middle. Yeah.
It's encapsulated.
Cool.
So it was like powder form, but getting the IV drips, they're incredible for you.
Oh, they're so good.
They're so good.
They're so good. And I've only gotten it one other time, but that was like in the hospital. I think I had an injury or something. It was years ago. This was just for fun. It was my doctor buddy. He said, come over.
That's the vibe now.
And let me shoot you up with a bunch of liquid.
Yes.
I feel great. I feel like tomorrow I'm going to be able to work out for like 3 hours straight.
Yeah, you're glowing right now.
Thank you.
Yes.
I'm just waiting to be invisible.
Yes.
Is what I want.
Soon.
Yeah.
Maybe.
If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
There's so many that I already feel like I have.
That's
maybe
true.
Flying would be really
Okay, let me
cool.
re-ask the question. What's your favorite? What are a couple of your favorite superpowers that you already have?
Ooh, I like that question.
Yeah.
Telepathy, like telekinesis,
Mm-hmm.
teleportation. I feel like I definitely can
teleportation is fun. Yeah, for sure.
Definitely.
Where's the last place you teleported to?
I do most of it in the astral realms, like when I'm dreaming. But I think that the last place, it was a forest. I'm not sure. Maybe it was Lemuria.
It was what?
Lemuria.
Lumeria?
Yes.
Where's that? What is that?
It's like an ancient time that
different
existed
realm
before
oh,
we
cool.
existed. Yes.
Okay, cool. Fuck yeah.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yes.
I don't know if I've ever astral projected.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe you have. You just
Maybe.
didn't know.
I mean, I've definitely had a bunch of lucid dreams where I'm kind of traveling in this weird hypnotic state of not life where I'm sleeping in my bed, but also not dreamland where I am. They're just like in between.
Yes.
That's a trip.
Yes.
I've also done acid.
That's kind of
similar. A different dimension.
Yes, it's a different dimension for sure.
Yeah.
You definitely have. Maybe you just don't fully remember.
Yeah. Maybe I didn't
remember.
commit it. Maybe it's just still in that piece of me that's probably still astral projecting.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're actually doing it right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, technically we could be on a different plane right now.
That's
Isn't that weird?
true.
Couldn't we be like, dude, we're getting deep in the early minutes of today's podcast.
It's all simulation.
It's all simulation. Have you read about simulation theory a lot?
I haven't.
All that stuff?
No, I don't study anyone else's theories because it tends to like infiltrate my own. So, but I'm familiar with it, so I'd love to hear what you know.
Oh, I don't know much, but the way Elon Musk talks about it is pretty trippy.
Convincing.
It's like it's something along the lines of like the odds, we are, one of two situations is happening right now. One, we're in base reality. We're the first of our kind to ever exist.
Oh.
Right? And if we're on the track of technological advancement that we're on, then one day we will have created a video game simulation type thing that is indifferent from our real experience. Like you can't tell the difference. So either we're in the base reality or we're already in that thing. Right? That's what he said. It's something along those lines. I don't quite know the exact phrasing of it. But the odds are that we are already in that thing because
we're not the first of our kind.
We're not the first of our kind.
This isn't the first time we've existed, for sure.
Yeah, it's something along those lines. Yeah.
I feel like it's a little bit less of like a simulation, and it's more of like a projection of your own consciousness, your own awareness and experience. There is a tangibility that we experience where it's like, no, we really can feel and have like receptors where it's like, I'm not trying to feel something, but if something happens, I do just instinctively feel that is confirmation of tangibility. Like we actually do exist in form. Yeah. But at the same time, to what extent? Yeah. It's like a lot of our reality is a projection of our own consciousness, and also like we're definitely existing in other planes and on other planets, other dimensions. Yeah. And like just projecting and experiencing a form of reality through this. And we're like, this is all there is.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. When there's just layers to it.
There's so many layers.
Just right here in this room right now isn't even a room. Is something completely like you can't
creating
even
a portal. Even.
That's the thing.
Yes.
Is you just don't you never know what else exists on a different energy plane. It's some wild shit. I've been to Sedona. Okay.
Yep.
I've been to Sedona.
Yep.
I have been UFO hunting in Sedona.
Nice.
I've heard we went to Sedona and this woman took us UFO hunting. It was just us. It was like a small group and we went out there. This woman took us and she was telling us about like the interdimensional like entities. And like the portals that open up and the vortexes and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's real.
And the way she was talking about it was like, it wasn't like how people are deranged and talk about it in a crazy way. You know, in movies, like, I swear to God, there's a portal and they're going to take you out through the vortex portal. It's going to be crazy. It was more like it was like a natural thing. It was like talking about the weather.
Right.
She was like, yeah, you know, and then the energy portal usually opens up here a couple times a night and they come through and they visit. And, you know, what they are, I can't really say, but I do know that they're energy entities made of ultrasonic light beams and da-da-da. And she's talking about it like it's, you know, what are we having for dinner tonight?
Yes.
And that freaked me out more than if she was talking about it crazy.
Right.
Because I was like, oh, this chick, she's proud. She might be telling the truth here, too.
Legit.
Yeah.
Yes. I feel like that's what happens when you are like familiar with these types of things. It's just like, oh, we just get used to the realities where it's like actually what we are even experiencing right here and right now. The fact that we are speaking and can feel things and translate emotion and energy through sound, and then we can comprehend and communicate with each other. Yeah. And then the fact that we're even recording this moment through the camera and through the mics, and then this moment that we're experiencing here momentarily actually becomes infinite, amplified, and available as an extension for anyone to tap into at any moment. It's like, this is a fucking miracle right here, right now. Wild. So it's like, yeah, we just get used to it. And so, yeah, someone like who lives in the vortexes of Sedona, she's like, yeah, no, this is casual at this point. Like, this is where the entities come out. Like, this is how the portals open.
This is just how it is.
Yeah.
Okay, so you grew up in the Bay Area, yeah?
Yes.
Have you done music your whole life? Because you're an incredible musician.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I have loved music my whole life. Yes, absolutely. And I was like more into the hyphy movement and like maybe rapping.
No way.
Oh my God.
Wait. Okay.
I got so hyphy.
Did you get hyphy? Did you go to the sideshow?
Oh yes. Like we created sideshows.
Bro, come on.
Like full on.
I grew up in Davis, so I'm Bay adjacent. I'm not Bay. I don't claim the Bay, but I claim NorCal.
Right.
Even though it's Central Cal or whatever.
Yeah.
But we claim the NorCal.
Yeah.
And dude, in high school.
Yeah.
Because we probably went to high school around the same time.
Yeah.
When E40 and Mac Dre were popping off, Andre Nicotina. I'm talking Smooth E, the Jacka, Starting Six. Do you remember them?
Yes. Yes.
All those dudes.
All of them.
Those were like our shit, dude. We were going so hard.
I know, going so
at
dumb.
high school house party. We were going dumb, dude. It wasn't even going hard yet. That's right. It was going dumb.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So what was your high school experience like? Were you into this like kind of, I don't know even how to brand it, new agey consciousness community in high school? Did you come up with any of that?
For sure. not even in the new age community now.
Yeah. I don't even know how to
I know. It's
talk about it.
Yeah,
because
it's like
everybody's got their own definitions.
Always evolving, and we always exactly. It's
yeah.
like, what even is it? I've always been spiritual for sure. Always connecting to like guides and like very tapped into like a higher power and source, and that's always been a thing for me for sure.
Yeah.
I wasn't raised religious or anything like that, but I went through a lot of trauma as a child, so I had to actually revert to creating a connection with some form other than what was here in this physical reality in order to even just survive. So I've always been spiritually connected. However, to answer your question, like high school, I for sure thought I was maybe a chola at some points.
Really?
Like, for sure got hyphy. Like I thought I was a gangster at some points. I went through so many different
Was
phases.
chola because of your nationality in some way?
No.
Or was it because of your community?
No, it was because I was the only white person at my school.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, every school that I went to. And we would move multiple times and go to different schools. And and so...
Wow.
Yeah. I had a lot of different identities, and
that's wild.
I feel like they're all connected to past lives or something for sure because they've all still encoded within me, and I even observed different aspects of myself, different versions like come through at different times.
Yeah.
I know who she is.
You got different characters.
Yeah,
that's what I got. All my characters live in
Yes.
videos. I feel like, you know what I feel like, and I've said this before, and then we'll dip back into the Bay Area rap music scene in high school. I feel like sometimes the characters that come out and that I can play on screen, or the little mini worlds that I build in these videos.
Love them, by the way.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
They come from like a different kind of plane that actually really exists out there. You know what I mean? Because if you believe in multiverse theory,
it's a channel.
If you believe in multiverse theory, and we're getting a little psychedelic right now, but I love it. The multiverse theory states that there's an infinite versions of you doing an infinite amount of things, right? Yeah. And if that's true, then there is a dude named Bryler out there with a backwards hat that's snapping his fingers all the time, and he's a living, breathing, actual person. And just like there's a CrossFit dude with a man bun named Travis who's always trying to have sex with people. Right. That's like a real thing that's just kind of floating across my wavelength, and I'm picking it out of the air and putting it into a video. So that's a cool part of the creative process. Do you ever feel like that? Like, does that ever come into your world when you're making something creative?
Absolutely, yes. You totally channel. You embody the characters. They come through. You become. You are. Yes.
Yeah.
And same thing happens with me too. I actually have a bunch of characters too, with different accents and things, and they're all very interesting. But yeah, it totally is that, where it's like this wave of energy, like a consciousness, and it's us being able to be like, oh, okay, I'm going to bring that into form. Yeah. Because it's actually funny too. Some of your characters, some things that I've seen you create, even like, I feel like, oh my God, like I have thought of that character. Like that character, but even better. Like with the Bryler, it's so funny. It's like the Kyler, where it's like, is it Kyle or is it Tyler?
Right.
It's like, And so I'm like, I think he gets that. Yeah. Like, yes.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Thank you so much.
So it definitely does exist.
Yeah, I think so.
And it's picking it up.
And it's just like, it's like staying open enough to allow it to enter your sphere, to enter your world. Somebody has this isn't my original idea. I'm taking it from somebody else. I forget who. It might be, what's his name? He's a director. He wrote this really cool meditation book called Big Fish, Catch the Big Fish. Hang on, I got to give him credit. I
never even know.
He's so good. Big Fish, director. I wish I had an assistant to look this stuff up. Book.
Information access now.
Meditation. I wish I could pull this out of the energy sphere.
You can.
David Lynch.
You just did.
I did.
Congrats.
Thank you so much.
David Lynch.
And
I have no idea who that is.
He's directed a million awesome movies.
Love him.
He's awesome.
Great guy.
It's called Catching the Big Fish, and he talks about the creative process and the importance of meditation in allowing your brain and just your consciousness in general to stay open like a net for the big fish to just travel into, instead of constantly reaching out with the net, desperately trying to grab, right? You kind of, and it's different than the nonchalant, just laziness that somebody could brand that with. It's not stagnancy. Yeah. It's conscious.
It's patience and allowing. It's receptivity.
It's exactly.
Resonance.
Exactly. Yeah. So he talks a lot about that, and I took that on a couple years ago, and it's been like a supreme difference in my kind of creative output.
I love that.
Which is cool.
I feel like it shows. I feel like you can feel the quality of that resonance that you have with what you're creating
Mm-hmm.
through the content, for sure. Because if it is like, I know a lot of people in this space that we're in different areas, and it's like a lot of creators do reach, try and find stuff. What do I do with this video on today? What do I do that? Oh, this stuff. I could never do that in my life. Ever. Ever. I have to sit back and like just have the best things come to me, because there's no forcing.
Mm-hmm.
There's no like trying to pull something. If it doesn't feel like, oh my God, I can do nothing else but make this right now and do this thing, then I'm not for it.
And then how do you feel when those like days turn into weeks? Does that start to give you like pressure? Do you start to get anxious in that process when you maybe haven't created or put something out?
Like, I have observed that approach me, that try to come into my field, that energy where it's like, oh, productivity is what makes you valuable.
Right.
Like, and it's like, nah.
Yeah.
No.
Exactly.
Actually, it's not.
Yeah.
Like, I'm getting funnier. I'm getting cuter. I'm chilling. I'm sleeping. I'm getting uglier. Whatever it is.
Right. Yeah.
I'm having something else come through. Like, it's always a process. So every once in a while things will try and come through like that. But I'm like, it's actually interesting. I grew up in a family that was very work motivated and action motivated, to the point where the children really got time with the family. So I'm more on the spectrum, and was like, had lots of money and like very wealthy and all this. I'm more on the spectrum where it's like, I'd rather rebel. I'd actually rather not do anything and like manifest everything type of vibe. So I have to take periods where it's like weeks of not doing anything. And I'm telling you, that's when the best shit comes through. Where it's like an idea comes through and I'm like, this feels good, so I'm gonna do it. And then it's like, boom, viral. It's like a worldwide mantra.
Right.
You could never even think of creating.
Yeah, you couldn't force it to come out.
Yeah.
And it had to come to you. Yeah. That's what happens with the best things. I don't think the best things are created because you forced it out, you squeezed it out.
Yes.
It's because you were patient with it.
Yes.
Yeah. Just always. Like E40's song, Tell Me When to Go.
Tell me when to go.
You think he forced that out? No, that is a masterpiece.
That is, yes.
That he was patiently crafting in his own time.
Yep. He probably went to a bunch of side shows, probably was doing his own thing.
100%.
Like, probably sipping lean, probably like getting hyphy,
going dumb,
popping thiz, and like
thizzle face, thizzle dance.
All of a sudden, it was like, boom.
Somebody was like, yo, should we leave? And he's like, yeah, tell me when to go.
And then he's like, tell me when to go.
Tell me when to go. Oh my God, that was my shit.
It still is. Like, there are times where I'll like randomly hear, like, I don't go to bars or clubs or anything like that, but I'll randomly hear like someone playing hyphy music in a car out of the van or something like that. Nothing could stop me from going into the middle of that circle and straight up like getting hyphy.
So
like,
nuts.
Crazy.
So was it what specific city? Were you San Francisco, Berkeley? You kind of popped around, you said?
I grew up in like Marin City.
Okay.
Marin City, Marin County, Novato, Santa Rosa.
Novato, yeah. That's right. Santa Rosa.
In Santa Rosa.
Okay.
Yeah. We literally moved every 6 months of my life since I was born.
Why?
My mom was a news reporter. So she would follow the stories. Yeah. She was like top news reporter, investigative reporter.
Oh, she was an investigative reporter.
Yeah.
So she would go wherever the story was?
Pretty much.
But did she work for one paper the whole time?
She was one of the top news anchors. So like CBS, Channel 5, Cron 4. She was one of the top anchors. So they would have her move from different stations.
Wow.
So like it was like Oklahoma, Colorado, like San Francisco. Like,
wow. That's nuts.
Yeah. It was pretty
Follow
crazy.
The story.
Yes, exactly. So every 6 months of my life until the past 2.5 years, I've moved.
Until the past 2.5 years? What happened in the past 2.5 years?
I found a place in Oceanside and I've kept that.
Oh, I love Oceanside, yeah.
I love Oceanside.
Yeah, it's cool.
And I've kept it while I travel. So it's been really nice to have that, like, and I needed that, being like a natural born gypsy nomad.
Yeah.
We literally have moved our whole lives. So having that, like, foundation, that grounding, that ability to travel and come back has felt so good.
Yeah. Yeah, that's huge.
Necessary.
That's huge.
Yeah.
So you were high school up in NorCal still. You graduated in Northern California. What did you do after high school?
After high school, I started working I co-created with my partner at the time, an organic granola company. And it was a great granola company. He had started it with his family. And then I like joined in. And that was great. And we actually were like the #1 selling granola, first to be certified organic, vegan, gluten-free, non-GMO.
Wow.
#1 selling granola in
What was
the
it called?
Whole Foods and everything. It was called One Planet.
Cool.
And it was like great. And then got Whole Foods bankrupted us. And so
Whoa.
we decided to make
Really?
cannabis granola. Yes.
Why did Whole Foods bankrupt you?
They kind of bankrupt anyone. It's really sad for like mom and pop businesses because they require that you do what's called a free fill, where you stock all their shelves in often multiple locations all over the country for free. And then only once it's sold out, depending on how it sells out, they'll let you know if they want to place a first order. And that's hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars to free stock, like all their places. And so, yeah, it was a whole process. But then we ended up putting cannabis in the granola, and that was an extremely successful company. And we were like licensed in multiple states.
Amazing.
We were the #1 selling healthy edible supplier in all of California.
Wow.
All of dispensaries. It was awesome.
That's cool.
And then, ended up moving down here and was growing for a while. That was kind of my thing, the whole like cannabis industry. And I've been in High Times a bunch of times. Used to be on the panel for High Times.
My buddy works for High Times.
Really?
Yeah, he does events.
Oh,
like
awesome.
Event planning and stuff. Yeah.
I may know him.
Yeah, probably. Mark Kaz.
Yeah, I don't know names. So
Okay, that's
maybe.
okay.
Love him. And yeah, did cannabis for a while, and it was pretty cool. I'd like travel and speak on the panel and be the only woman or like the youngest person on the panel, and like
that's awesome.
speaking about cannabis. I also grew up with epilepsy, so I had seizures.
Really?
Full on growing up. I couldn't get my license. It was really serious. I'd have to tell everyone when I first met them, like, hey, if I have a seizure, don't freak out, don't call the cops. I don't have insurance. Just turn me on my side. I'll be good. Like full on.
Whoa, that's nuts. What would trigger the seizures?
It's really interesting you ask, actually.
Because sometimes it's nothing, kind of, right?
Right. It was nothing. I wasn't sure what it was, but I had them my whole life. I was on prescription pills, never drank or smoked all throughout high school, never tried any drug, really still haven't tried any drugs, only like plant medicines, because of the epilepsy. And then once I graduated, I tried cannabis for the first time and literally have not had one seizure since then.
Really?
I've gotten my brain scanned, and even neurologically, my brain patterns show as if I never had seizures.
Wow. And do you attribute that to...
Full-on CBD and cannabis. Because I went through multiple processes. It's definitely chemical, but also on a mental level. The cannabis helped me to see into why I was having the seizures. And I went through so much trauma, like literally unexplainable, like it's worse than movies as a child, to the point where I couldn't allow myself to fully feel it. And so I would rarely cry. I would rarely get like emotional. I would just like be like chilling through it, like numb vibes. And so I would have seizures to where I would literally go unconscious. My eyes would roll to the back of my head and my body would convulse to get the energy out of me.
Wow.
Because I wouldn't cry. I wouldn't allow myself to be emotional because it would break me down. I wouldn't have survived if I allowed myself to feel all this stuff.
Yeah.
So my body would seize. And so cannabis helped me to be able to even mentally go through and like unwire, rewire, reconstruct my mental patterns so that I wouldn't have seizures anymore.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So you must be pretty happy and grateful with the growth in the plant medicine world over the past couple of years then, right?
Yes, it's been incredible.
Weed especially, even though I can't believe weed is still illegal anywhere, is just absurd.
Yep.
But then
Shocking.
It's shocking.
Yeah.
But then the next steps obviously are going to be mushrooms are probably next on the docket, and then beyond that, who knows? But what has it been like for you to watch from being in that business?
Yeah.
Are you still in that business? Do you still
I'm
do
not,
anything? So
no.
because now you do a lot of retreats and you do music and groups and things.
I'm completely out of the cannabis industry.
Okay.
Yeah, that was like my main thing, and I actually was in the industry before it was legal. So I had like 10 lawyers. We had all the things. We were actually legal as well.
Yeah.
But it was just medical at the time. And then I had the company when cannabis became legal. Boom, like all big pharma, all the companies, everything came through, swiped all the main people out who were actually making quality medicine and like caring for it. So I realized it wasn't my thing. And I actually ended up, long story short, like breaking up with my partner that I was with, that I owned the company with, gifting him the company and our grows and everything, like the amount of millions of dollars that I
You're
just
welcome.
gifted full on because I felt a calling to go to Brazil and do ayahuasca for my first time.
Really?
Full on.
And so you left everything to go do that.
Yes.
And was it worth it?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Absolutely.
Okay, good. That's a lot of money.
Oh my God. It's been so worth it. Like the spirit, the soul is so worth it.
Good. That's
and
good.
let's be real, the millions still coming.
That's true.
They just
you
come
can
in
get
at
them
a
in
whole
a different
frequency.
way. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yes.
That's really cool.
Yeah. But activation vibration was literally birthed at that retreat. Like,
so activation vibration is your like umbrella kind of, how would you define
frequency.
it? It's just a lifestyle frequency.
It's a frequency.
Type
It's
vibe.
an energy. Yeah. So the activation vibration is a vibe that literally activates people in different ways. So whether it's like my energy or my like creations that I make, my content, my confidence, my story, my trauma, my whatever it is, it's a frequency. It's an energy of inspiration, creativity.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I translate that through music, videos, writing things, doing weird stuff.
Retreats. So tell me about the
Yes.
retreats you do. So do you lead?
Yes.
Because I saw one of them is female focused, right?
Yes.
It's like a goddess retreat type
Yes.
thing. And then do you do others that are
Like plant medicine retreats, yes.
You do? Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Going, it's not my retreat, but going to Costa Rica in early November to do ayahuasca again.
Oh, fun.
Yes.
Now, are you leading folks with that, or are you
Not this
traveling
one.
with? Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
It's my boyfriend who's hosting the
Awesome.
retreat. Yeah. So I get to be present and hold space, but not hold too much space, which is really nice.
Yeah.
But I also love doing it. It's like the most incredible experiences I've ever had, these like 3-day chapters at these retreats. So we have a women's retreat coming up early October, and they're so incredible. Like, we just get so wild and so raw and have so much fun, and yet like do all the beautiful things and like get dirty, and it's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
That's
so
awesome.
excited.
Yeah, I think that. I just think more people should do that.
Yes.
To be honest.
Yes.
You
it's
know?
the healing.
It
Like,
is,
it
and
affects everything.
it's such a different going on one of these little retreats, or even to like a little festival for a weekend at the very least. Something like that is such a harsh break
Yes.
from people's reality
Yes.
that it's almost like a shock to the system,
Full
right? It's like doing an ice plunge, or like it's just this crazy different level of existing for this 2-3 day period, or like a week period, or however long it is, right?
Yep.
And whenever I do that, I come back completely changed.
Yes.
It's complete. I'm like
literally changes
realigned,
your life.
literally realigned. And it
Yes.
sounds all whoop-de-doop-de woo-woo crazy, but it is super legit.
So real.
And I work my ass off in the real world,
Right.
in quotes, as we call it. So when I can do that, and when I have the ability to give a shock to my system, I take it every time,
Yes.
because it's such a big.
It's a pattern interruption.
It's a pattern interruption.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That completely is just like, all right, brings through a new energy, clears what was stagnant, like, new inspiration.
Yeah, there's one I'm looking at. I think it might be in Costa Rica too. Nate was showing me. It's like a 7-day juice detox.
Beautiful.
/ meditation yoga type
Beautiful.
thing, and it's very limited. I think there's 12 people. And it's not really that expensive too. People think you need like $10,000 or
Right.
more or something. It's not. You can spend less than what you pay in
Yes.
rent and do one of these
Yes.
things.
Yes.
So.
And again, change your life forever.
And it can change your life forever, because you
Yeah.
meet somebody, you learn
Yes.
something, you're living life in such a different way for a short period of time that you come back with a whole new perspective.
Yes.
So I highly recommend it. I want to get my sister to go do it. She's 20. She's in college. I really want her to go.
That would be
I
so
might get her that
powerful.
for Christmas. I might get her like a retreat thing.
Definitely do it. You
Yeah.
should honestly have her come to one of ours. Like, I'll hook
Yeah,
up with
yeah,
a
yeah.
deal.
Oh,
And
that'd be
I'm
great.
trying to get my younger sister to come to mine.
How old's your
this
sister?
time. She's 25.
Okay,
now.
cool.
That's crazy. Yes.
Wow. Yeah, dude, my sister's going to be able to drink next year.
Yeah.
Wild.
Isn't that crazy?
Wild.
People are like, how old's your sister? I'm like, 16.
Yeah. No, I think of her as
turning
11.
16. Yeah.
I remember her being like
Yep.
11 and 12. I took her to see Taylor Swift when she was 13.
Yep.
Like, this is a little girl.
Right. Yep.
She can't be 20
She
with a
can be-
job.
Right.
It's
crazy.
That was weird.
And then us too. Like, I'm pulling
That's
up
a
to
whole
30.
other thing, dude.
I'm
Bro,
pulling up to
30s are no joke,
30.
dude. 30s are no joke. 30s are like, oh, hairline, you're going to take off?
Yeah.
You're going to take
Peace.
off my
See
hairline?
ya.
My hairline's good. You're just going to take off? Okay, bye.
Fully see ya.
Yep. Oh, back. You're not going to show up to work today? You're going to stay over there? Back?
Full on. And there it is. It's
My
just
God.
dislocated. I remember people saying like, oh, your digestive system, like you just can't eat what you used to eat when you're 30. And I'm like, no, you're a fat fuck. Like,
Right.
that's your fault.
Yeah.
And, no, now that I'm
It's already
here,
happening.
I'm like, wait.
Yeah.
What?
Dude, I played sports my whole life.
Yeah.
And I remember in high school, my coaches or even like college guys or guys just fresh out of college that were hooping with us or running with us, they'd be like, man, just watch out, dude. 5-10 years from now, your knees are going to start giving out. And I was like made of rubber. I was like 16. Like, nah, dude,
like,
fuck that.
Maybe for you.
Yeah, I'm going to do this forever, bro.
Right.
I'm good. I'm a spring.
Yep.
Now, it takes me 30 minutes to warm up.
Yeah, gotta stretch.
I gotta hit the cold shower immediately after or an ice bath. I got like 10 different supplements before and after a workout. Whole routine. I gotta stretch every morning when I wake up. I gotta stretch for 20 minutes just to be able to open my eyes.
Literally.
It's nuts. Yeah.
Yep.
It's nuts.
It's a whole different reality.
Yeah.
Actually.
How have you evolved with your physical health over the years? Have you noticing these patterns of change in your body? How has your health kind of evolved with that, like with new things you've discovered or new patterns of living and eating?
Yes, I'm like all about the biohacking and like utilizing all the tools and the resources to be as healthy as possible. I like love that shit. That's my shit.
Yeah.
And my dad is still to this day a bodybuilder, like a competing bodybuilder. And my mom growing up had full 6-pack, like can do running backflips, all the things. Like that's what I grew up in. So they had us in sports. I started competing in boxing when I was 9.
Wow.
But I started boxing when I was 7.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Who put you in boxing?
I did.
No shit.
Yeah, it was when I was living in an area where I needed to know how to protect myself and had gotten like jumped and attacked a few times. So
7.
Yeah.
So what was that process like learning boxing at 7?
It was honestly incredible. They took me in like a family, and it was also a point in my life where my mom wasn't really home and I was often alone, or my sister was too, but doing our own thing. And so they kind of took me in as like a family. It was a gang prevention program. Cool. So that's what I was a part of. So it was all the guys I was the only girl there and the only white person too. Mm-hmm. It was all the people who were there who had gotten taken out of juvie or out of jail to be in like gang prevention situations. Yeah.
Like a reintroduction to being in society without being a dick type program. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Like how to interact. And so, yeah, it was exactly what I needed. It was incredible and really strengthened me, and I think helped to instill the confidence within me, even on like a physical level that I have now. Mm-hmm. And
would you ever spar with people?
Oh yeah. No, I've had 15 fights.
Get the fuck out of here.
Oh, yeah, I've gotten my ass beat so many times. That's what I mean. Yeah.
What's your record out of the 15?
So my competing record was 15-0.
No
I was
way.
Undefeated.
Really?
I was fully undefeated.
Could you take on Jake Paul?
I feel like I probably could.
You probably could.
I probably could. I need to watch his technique a little bit more. I'm trying to replay these videos in my mind so I can be
he goes for big swings. He's got a lot of confidence.
Yeah, I'm super quick.
But he's also very patient.
I'm coming. Yeah.
Yeah, he is a patient fighter.
We may have a similar vibe then.
Yeah. That'd be a good fight.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
Yeah.
My thing is people are like, oh, oh, come on, you couldn't fight me. And I'm like, or like, you couldn't handle me fighting you. And I'm like, you probably wouldn't get a hit on me. Like, that's my thing. Where it's like you probably wouldn't get a hit. And then I come in from like where you don't know I'm coming in. And then I come in hard.
Damn, you were 15-0, motherfucker. Yes. So you boxed.
But I've gotten my ass beat. So like the fights before, like sparring, I have gotten my ass beat.
Well, you kind of have to get your ass beat at some point to get better.
Yes.
You can't just win everything and think you're the shit.
Right.
You know?
No, my fight right before I had my first fight, it was sparring, and it wasn't on my record, but the woman who I was fighting, I think I was 10 at this time, and she was 22, and she was preparing for she had been amateur, and she was preparing for her first pro fight.
You sparred a 22-year-old when you were 10. Who allowed that to happen?
And she beat the fuck out of me.
That's insanity.
I did the worst thing. Like, I literally have like things play in my head of this where like the worst thing you can do in a boxing ring is turn your back. That is the worst thing, because then you can get your head punched in, everything, like your back. The worst thing. She fully turned me around and was like hitting me.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And from that moment on, I never lost.
Wow.
I literally never lost.
That's nuts.
It's like one of the greatest yet worst things of my life.
So did you box always within this community program? Or did you ever?
They would have us travel.
Oh,
it was the American Boxing Association.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, it was the ABA.
And when was your last fight?
I stopped when I think my last fight was actually when I was 16.
Okay.
Or 17.
So you didn't box into the years that you could have theoretically, well, I don't know
gone
about your
pro.
gone
Yes.
pro.
So that's actually what my decision was. So I had been training and fighting for multiple years, and I had 15 fights, and I won my 15th fight. So it was like, all right, now is your time to go pro.
Yeah.
And so I had to make the decision, and I was already training 5 days a week for 3 hours a day. And if I wanted to do that, I'd have to start doing at least 6 days a week for like 5 hours a day of training. And I was, again, like 16 going on 17.
It's a full-time job.
And so, like, literally it was so sad. Like, my coach, everyone was just like, I was like their prodigy at one point.
Yeah.
They were so sad, but I decided I wanted to cheerlead.
No
I became a cheerleader.
fucking way.
Yes, I was captain of the team.
Get the fuck out of
I
here.
became captain of 60 girls cheerleading.
No shit.
Yes.
How did that switch
That's what
come
I'm
into
saying.
your...
Characters.
That's
So many
wild.
characters.
That's such a switch.
I know.
So you put the gloves up and picked up pom-poms?
Yes. And I had like every girl running,
What was
doing
the-
sprints, everything. We were sexy. We were a sexy cheerleading.
Oh, I'm sure you were. Otherwise, you would have beat their ass.
Right.
What was the motivation? Like, did you always want to be a cheerleader in some way?
No.
Was there like a what's it called?
Ooh. Like
know
a
what I mean?
shift? Yes, actually. Or like a dream that
Yeah.
I wanted to be.
Yeah.
So
Like a calling to or something in your head that was like always put cheerleading on like this
like
pedestal type thing. Yeah.
I think that it was more representative of feminine energy, actually, where growing up, like even until high school, I like wore only boy clothes.
Yeah.
Only boy clothes. Still had lots of boyfriends, like really only hung out with the boys, and like I just like loved boys, so I like wanted to dress like the boys and climb trees and stuff.
Yeah.
And then when I got into high school, and I was still boxing at this time, I got boobs and like realized like, oh shit, I'm sexy.
Yeah.
And like I got sexy early too, where it was like, oh, okay, like this is what it's like to be a woman. Oh, I kind of like this.
Yeah.
Oh, I kind of like this.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it was like, I actually like pink. I want to wear skirts. I want to do all this stuff. And I started to become feminine, where it was like, oh, this is power too. I used to
Interesting.
think like growing up where I did and how I did, being masculine and being strong was the only way to survive. And that's how I got respect. That's how I wouldn't be like mistreated. That's how I wouldn't be hurt, is if I was strong. And then it was like feminine energy and essence is also powerful.
Cool.
Actually, maybe even more powerful in ways.
Yeah.
And because it can even like, and so, yeah, I think that it was a part of that shift. And I started fully dressing like a girl and became a cheerleader.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was right around that 15, 16,
Yes.
17-year-old age
It was
when
like
you quit boxing. went to
literally
cheer.
then.
Wow.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah, so to answer your question, physically, I've always been about the sports, always been super active. My whole family, it's just like been our thing. And I have noticed like I was very strong and agile and great then, but through like awakening my like consciousness and translating that and encoding it into my body, I have opened up new abilities for sure. Like just even through breath work, through strengthening myself, I definitely am. It's a different level, right? Like it's not the youth strength and mobility and everything, but it's like a mature encoding.
Yeah. Totally.
That I have.
Totally.
Which has been really interesting to explore and experience, but I'm here for it. Like we don't get to be human too often.
You don't get to be 30. Once you're 40, you're going to look back on 30 and be like,
Yes.
damn, I wish I was turning 30 again.
Right.
Motherfucker, I'm 40.
Right.
But you're also going to embrace that part of it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like I embrace turning 30.
Yes.
Yeah, although I am 17, because everybody
Yes.
that watches this podcast knows that I'm 17 years old.
That, okay.
But but yeah, you embrace it as you go. Okay, let me ask you this about boxing. When you stopped boxing and you went to cheerleading, did you hang up the gloves forever? Or did you ever dip back into it? Did you ever start, or even did you ever do a workout just for fun? Like, do you ever dip into it still even? Did you back then, like once in a while, show up to the gym to mess around?
Yes. Like almost every day still.
Okay. You
Almost
just didn't
every
commit
time
as a pro.
I didn't. Yeah. I had a period of where I stopped going for like maybe 2 or 3 years. And then like right after that. But then since then, I do shadow boxing and like train on different things. And I also have gloves and mitts, and I like have my neighbors and stuff like hold gloves for them. Yes.
Cool.
So I still train in boxing and like do things like UFC
like as a workout
routines and workouts.
Wow.
Yeah, almost
Badass.
every day. So
yeah, that's really cool.
it's in my soul. Like I for sure have been like a large African ninja fighter. Seriously.
In a past life? Yeah,
oh,
that's fucking cool. Yeah.
He's come through.
He's come through. Yeah. Yeah, I can only imagine. I mean, playing basketball my whole life, I've had, and I still do, I still play. But now it's much more intentional for myself rather than competitive outwardly toward other people.
Yes.
Because I don't want to get hurt and I don't want to commit to that too much. Because if I overcommit to that, then it starts taking over. And then all I can think about all week is the plays that I messed up on the week prior because I'm unhealthily competitive.
Right. Yeah, I'm curious about that.
But
how have you noticed your like competition energy shift with maturity?
It's still there.
Yes.
I don't think it. I think of competition like kind of like a valuable disease. So it's a disease in the sense that you can get infected with it and it can get worse depending on the situation.
And it can be negative.
But I think of it as valuable.
Yes.
Because if I'm able to harness my sense of competition in a healthy way, then I can use it to make myself better and make the stuff that I put out better. And then, which at the end of the day, my whole purpose of being alive is to add joy to the world. That's all I want to do. And so if I can harness it and use it, it's like Venom, right? The movie Venom, when he turns into the fucking guy,
right?
But he tries to use it for good instead of bad. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So it's kind of like that. Whereas somebody, like Michael Jordan or Kobe, it's an obsession and it's unhealthy. But it worked for them. They both did what they wanted to do.
It was almost necessary in order for them to accomplish what they have.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Kobe, he had a loving family and he had a great family life and was doing all these amazing things. Michael has a different story because he was very unhealthy with it, but he's still a guy that did a bunch of great things. So I try to use it today. Like we were playing Scrabble last night and it came out really badly. Because I was like kind of talking shit and I was being a little condescending and I was like showing off because I'm fucking dope at Scrabble, dude.
Yes,
I played a 7-letter word last night and I scored 94 points.
Wow.
You understand? I don't fuck around with Scrabble.
I'm honestly impressed. I think you should rock it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
But like so it comes out like funny ways like that. But how it comes out in a negative way could be when you start comparing yourself to other people, right? Yes. And thinking about where you should be. Instead of where you are compared to where you were. Right? Where you should be is an illusion. 100% is an illusion.
Right.
So I try to use it in like a healthy way. But boxing is similar to basketball, but I would assume it's different because it's so fucking offensive.
Yes.
Like pretty much the whole sport is an offensive sport.
And it's just you.
And it's just you.
I also played basketball. That was also my thing growing up, but not as much as boxing. But the difference with it is like with basketball, you have a team. You can rely on, and other sports too. You can rely on other people. Everyone like gathers and builds to support the team.
Right.
Boxing, it's like if you don't hold your right hand up high enough, you're getting your face bit and you could actually get a concussion, you could die.
Right.
It's life-threatening.
Yeah.
It's life-threatening.
Yeah.
So it's like there's no fucking around and you have to be quick. And also I would observe that like sometimes in sports that had a team, I would get nervous. Obviously, I'd get nervous with boxing too, but I would get nervous, and it was kind of like it would be okay because it would subside, and we'd be running, and someone else would grab the ball, or someone would come and like take that play, and it would be fine, right? Boxing, you cannot get nervous.
You can't,
because if you hesitate for even just a second, half of a breath, you lose.
Yeah.
You lose.
You're gonna wake up on the ground.
Hit, exactly. Or you could get hit that puts you off for the rest of the fight.
Right.
Like even if it is just something slight, it could reposition you for the rest of the fight.
So what do you take from boxing that you put into your life today? Like how are there anything like subconsciously or consciously where you dip into that boxing state of mind in order to incorporate that mindset or that lesson or that thought into anything you do today?
Definitely. Yes. I'd say the ability and the necessity to channel and translate energy with precision. Where it's like you can have this force, you can have this energy, whether that is motivated or created by competition or by inspiration or fuel or just like actual physical energy, whatever it is. The more that you intentionally channel your energy and act and exist and express with precision, like as in like boxing, when you're throwing a punch, you're not just flailing your hands. You have to make sure from your toes all the way up to your knees, the position, your stance, everything, the way that you're holding your back and what muscles you are utilizing to even propel that limb to go forward. Everything is so precise and is so important that it is intentional.
Yeah, there's no wasted motion.
There's
no wasted energy
at all.
Yeah.
And so I feel like being able to utilize that to where it's like, and even with boxing and in sports, even just the way that I like to fight and the way that I would do it, I'm not just like going for it, just like start throwing punches and everything. No. I like to be patient. I'm going to sit back. I'm going to wait. I'm going to first see what you do. I'm going to see what the field is like, what the energy is like, and what you're like, the space is coming to me with. And then I'm going to respond. So it taught me like this energy of precision, patience, and then also no hesitation. I don't hesitate for shit.
Yeah.
If it's like,
yeah.
There's a very big difference between patience and hesitation.
Yeah.
Where it's like patience is about knowing that there is something yet not needing to act on it because it hasn't manifested into full form.
Right.
So it's like being present for it. And then hesitation is it being there in form. You feel it, even if you don't see it, don't have all the details yet, but you know it's time to go or it's time to do that, and then not doing it.
Yeah.
There's a very big difference.
And even if you end up doing it after the hesitation, you're not doing it with the full
same energy.
Intentional energy that you're bringing into it.
It's a different space.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And to put that into context, let's give it like a real life example. So for me, that would be, let's see, capitalizing on an idea that I have, that just floated across my space.
Yep.
And maybe I make like, should I do this? I start writing it.
Right.
But then I take a break because I don't know if it's
right.
right.
Maybe I'll do it tomorrow.
Maybe I come back tomorrow and then I write it all the way out and then it just it doesn't feel right.
Yes.
Yeah. Or I could wait and kind of marinate with that idea, not write anything down yet, not make any plan to even do it.
Yeah.
And just see what it comes to in my brain. And if it's a character, if it's a thing, if it's a comment on a trending issue, how am I gonna repaint the picture of that trending issue so that I can communicate it?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So having the patience versus the hesitation in that way, that's like a real life example for me, for like what I do.
I'm curious too with your content, when you are patient and say you do get an idea, when you're patient and you like allow for the energy, the momentum to kind of build up, do you find, because this happens to me, do you find that if you give yourself that space, often you will get other reflections or examples or information on that topic or on something that allows you to become more clear?
Yes.
In the way that you actually like full on officially translate it.
Yeah. So that happens typically for whatever, typically during a trending video, like a video that's just silly and for fun. Like if I'm doing a character that's not related to any trending topic or debated issue, those are just fun. That's just me being a clown. I can be patient with those and write and mess around and that's a different space. But for example, the video I put out today, is it today, Monday? Yeah. The video I put out today.
Tacos, I actually saw.
The taco one, mandatory tacos. Thank you.
Great.
So that was like, I really wanted to talk about the subject, and I actually got the idea for it 4 days ago. So it's been 4 days to bring it to final form.
Yes.
But when I got the idea, it was originally like, should I make a video about like the freedom argument and just hammer home like we all have a right to free? And I waited. I was like, I don't know. I'm not going to write that down yet. Let me just go about my day, see how this plays out. Let me look up some articles. Let me read opposing viewpoints. And then for me, the biggest truth for me for this video was let's take aim at the most logical argument, which in the case of this video is if you can prove you have immunity, why do you also need to be forced to be vaxxed by a mandate? Right. If you can prove that you have immunity, that's the most that's beyond the freedom conversation is different. The business rights conversation is different. It is just very simply, if I can prove that I have antibodies that are long lasting and give me the same or better immunity, if I can prove that, why am I subject to the mandate? Right. So
control.
Right. Yeah. Which is a whole, again, and that's the thing. But I want to put out the video that poses these questions so that the people
saying
who
it
can't,
without saying it.
Yeah. So because when you can't answer that question, it forces you to start thinking of other reasons that shit is happening. So I just want people to think, right? And so I was patient with that, and that led me down a lot of different roads and rabbit holes of like this argument versus this argument versus this, but nothing was answering my argument. And so my argument was slowly starting to brew and slowly starting to like come into form. You know what I mean? And then of course the taco and the hamburger cupcake metaphors were all just like silly for fun.
But resonant.
Yeah. But so that was an example of kind of a moment where
being patient.
I was patient and I allowed it to digest properly.
Yes.
And I think it came out well, although I'm getting blown up in comments, but I like that because it's conversational now. Yep. And I'll do that once in a while. I'm not going to do that for every video because I'll just tear my skin off. But once in a while, it's nice to pop in with something that's like jarring.
Yes.
You know?
Necessary.
Yeah.
Necessary.
And this isn't even like a big argument, I don't feel like. What I decided to go after with this video was very like kind of middle of the road shit here. Right.
And just kind of like, duh? Wait, duh?
I went for the duh thing.
Yeah.
And I'm still getting the nah.
Isn't that shocking?
It's wild.
It's shocking.
It's wild. I mean, 5 years ago, were you having these kinds of debates with people? Did you even fathom that people could be this far apart?
I didn't think that people were this far apart, but I actually have been talking about this kind of shit for years. And then I'm at the point now where everyone's so psycho about it, I don't talk much about it. Yeah. Like I don't utilize my platform to talk much about it because a lot of people are using their platforms to talk about it. Yeah. And so now I actually get people cussing me out, trying to cancel me for not talking about it.
Get the fuck out of here.
They're like, you're supposed to be here leading the way.
No way.
Oh, full on. And I'm like, the fact that you're trying to force me and control what I express and how I express, do you see that you are actually a product of exactly what you're trying to work against?
Oh man, that's wild. Yeah.
And I'm like, 5 years ago, I was talking about this shit, vaccines and everything. Like, all of you guys were like, oh, okay, Heather, just because you never got one, like, you want to talk about this stuff. I'm like, it's going to be important. And then here, it's like,
Yeah, and you also don't want to, I mean, it depends on who you are. I'm saying you in the general context, because I don't want to become a pariah.
Same. That's not me.
You know, I don't want to be a spokesperson for a movement.
Right.
I'm not that.
You're you.
I'm me, dude. I'm trying to make people laugh.
You're joy.
I'll post questions once in a while in funny ways.
Right.
But I'm not going to do this.
That's not your focus.
It's not my thing.
That's not your mission.
If you want that, I got people I can refer you to.
Same.
I got homies that are doing that. Yep. And that's great.
Yep.
It's not me.
Same.
You know?
Yep.
I never did anything political or topical until 2020.
Wow.
Nothing.
Wow.
Nothing.
Wow.
I didn't even touch it.
Yep.
What was your first thing? It was 2020 spring. I was mocking hand washing all the time. I had these two bros in quarantine, but even that was silly. That didn't really have a message.
But it does.
It does kind of. I think my first thing was masks versus no masks, and it was just me in the video. One guy was like super pro mask, the other was anti-mask.
Yes.
And they're both like the far ends of the spectrum. Like one is like, "Oh, you're a commie, dude. Why are you wearing a mask outside? You wear 2 condoms right now too?" And the other guy is like, "Oh, you don't care if people die. You want everybody to die. You don't care about health."
Yep.
And so they're just these two far. And then a third guy comes in and he's like, "Hey, you guys are both wrong. You know, you're outside, but also you shouldn't care what he says. Just do your thing and follow the rules or whatever." And then, but that was like the first grasp of something trending.
Yep.
And it was fun. It was cool. It blew up and it got a bunch of arguments in the comment section. I was like, oh shit, okay. I could make people argue for a while.
Yes.
Maybe this will spark some conversation.
Right.
You know?
Yes.
So I kept trying to follow that every once in a while, yeah.
And what's your favorite thing to do? Like what's your favorite kind of content to create?
Man. I think my favorite stuff lately has been the alien stuff. Anything alien related, specifically alien related.
I love that.
I mean, I like doing political stuff that makes people think and topical stuff. I like doing impressions. Those are fun. Bro content is always cool. You know, the homies from NorCal is always fun.
Yeah.
But the alien stuff that I've done has been really fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's do more of that.
I would love to.
Yeah.
What do you think of the aliens of this past year? Because we're in this new phase now where aliens and the talk of aliens is more now than ever.
Normal. Oh, I fully have been communicating directly to cosmic beings, extraterrestrials. That's what they prefer, but we can say aliens.
Okay.
For years now. And that's actually where I get majority of my information and everything. I don't read. I don't watch anything. I full on
You speak.
I full
through
on
a
connect
different
to
plane.
them. Yes, I channel.
So
them.
what about like
Those are like my guides.
those are the homies?
Yes, they're
That's
my
pretty cool.
homies.
What
yes.
about like the video evidence type stuff on this? What do you think of
100%.
that stuff?
It's nearing towards the time where there is going to be a reality very soon where we are living in conjunction with them fully in awareness that they exist, and the borders of our dimensions are also shifting too, to where we're going to be able to experience them tangibly a lot more often and consistently, because a lot of the extraterrestrials, they exist in a higher frequency consciousness where they are not manifested into form.
In a physical form.
Yes. However, there are many that are manifested into form, and a lot of the whole abductions and all of this stuff, like the government, there have been multiple agreements that the government has made with certain types of extraterrestrials that aren't necessarily they don't have positive intentions necessarily, or they're not here for the same mission of uplifting the consciousness and shifting Earth. They're here for a different mission. And so there's been a lot of interaction with those types of aliens. So the footage and stuff, it's hard to tell. Some of the ships I've been oh, I recognize those.
Yeah.
And some of them I'm I don't know if that's a good one.
Oh.
Yeah, full on. So no matter what, it's all going to be great and divine and perfect.
Uh-huh.
But I think that the increase in UFO sightings and the fact that the government is finally being hi, yeah, we've been talking to aliens for years, but I think they're just saying we saw a ship.
Yeah, what they're saying now is we don't know what these are, and it could be made not on Earth. That's the thesis that we've gotten so far.
Yeah.
There hasn't been a confirm or deny.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is different than what we've ever gotten.
Right.
We've only always gotten a denial.
It's because they can't hide it anymore, and it's happening no matter what, and the government's okay, maybe we should say that we kind of know about this.
Yeah. So what would your prediction be for
by 2024?
2024 is the year?
Is happening, yes.
You think so?
Yes. That's what I've gotten. Yeah.
Okay. And would that be a type of physical manifestation of the things?
Yes.
And so, because I want to see one of them.
You will.
On Venice Boulevard.
You
I got to
will.
see one. I'm 99% of the way there in my belief system of this.
Yes.
That 1%.
Yes.
I need it in my field of vision.
You
I have to
fully
have
will.
it in this dimension.
Yes.
I must have it.
Yes.
I could go say what's up to them.
Right.
You know?
Right now you are. Literally, they're
For
laughing
sure.
because you are them.
Right, exactly.
But that actually, there's more than that, because it's not everyone is them.
Right.
To an extent, yeah, everyone is. But there are some of us who are very cosmically stranded in terms of our DNA.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's going to happen, and it's going to be physical. It's going to be, I'm not exactly sure how it's going to happen, but it's going to be something to where it is undeniable. It's completely confirmed. Everyone knows and sees, and it's going to shift the whole awareness where it's humans are finally going to realize oh my God, we've been thinking we're different based on our color or how we look or our land, and it's we're all fucking humans.
We're all fucking humans.
Yeah, and it's there are so many species out there. It is hilarious. It is a cosmic comedy that humans are still trying to divide and separate themselves.
But so we'll know. So you think we'll know that 2024?
Yes.
That will happen, because I think that would be the best thing for humankind.
Yes.
But only if they're nice.
Yes.
But they got to be nice. They got to be chill.
Only the nice ones.
They got to be
through.
chill and,
Yeah.
and be down to hang and vibe.
Yes.
Because the bad ones would mess us up in an instant.
Right. And also, lots of things are shifting in their space too. Where hopefully, as Earth makes this huge transition and clears a lot of the distortions and the malevolence and the negativity, then it's also reflecting in the other dimensions as well. So hopefully, because there are a lot of negative extraterrestrial races that have members who want to ascend, who want to be better. So it's I don't know how familiar you are, but with these, but greys and reptilians. Have you heard of greys and reptilians?
Oh well, yes, yeah. So I've done that. Yeah, I've done. I've fell down that Reddit comment thread a couple of times. Yeah.
So it's actually a real thing. I don't know whether people are saying I'm going to not read that shit, but there are even members of those races that are positive and that want to ascend and that want to change and want to shift and create a new way. And then there are other races like the Arcturians.
Ooh, what
or
are those? Tell me about
Pleiadians.
those.
Those are the ones that have come to me. I feel like I was in Arcturus most recently, for sure.
Arcturus?
Arcturus, yes.
Is that like a dimension?
It is.
Or a planet?
It's both. And it actually does really exist, too. You can find it on your phone anywhere. But Arcturians are from them, and they are like 9th to 13th dimensional beings. And supposedly we're in the 3rd dimension. We bridge between 3D, 4D, and 5D. 4D is like the astral realms where we're like half asleep. And then 5D is the awakened consciousness.
And Twitter is 0D because nobody has any good thoughts there. So
0D.
That's
like,
Twitter.
No one's getting the D.
No one's getting D on Twitter.
No,
right.
not at all. And so the Arcturians are really cool. They're like from the Ascended Galaxy. They came to me first.
What's the visual that you get when can you put them into a visual description for me? Whereas if one of them walked through that door right now, what would it look like?
Yes, absolutely. And fully with
Or
God
could they
and my
even walk?
guides
I
and
don't even
higher
know.
self and all of the universe
Yeah.
as my witness. I report to God after everything, during everything. I have fully seen Arcturians in physical form. Like full on. And they have manifested 2 different times, and it was kind of different each time. The first time, it was actually a lot like this purple, pink, blue light right here behind you.
Yeah.
Where it's like they were actual beings that were that color, and super, super tall, bigger eyes, like beautiful, but full on alien looking.
Wow.
Like 3 long fingers.
Yeah.
And like lengthy and blue purple.
Bluish
Blue
purple.
purple.
Okay.
Yeah, they weren't like the gray aliens with the black eyes that we see everywhere.
Yeah.
Those are like the grays.
Because those are, what you're describing now is very specific because it's from your experience.
Yes.
And what the collective experience has been is there's a through line of the description of these things over years and years and years.
Right.
And you can't really knock that.
Right.
When there's so many witnesses that are unconnected by age, location, demographic, whatever. There's no connection between the people. The only connection is their independent reportings of what they've seen.
Yes.
And that's what freaks me out.
It's undeniable.
It's undeniable.
It's so real.
It's so real.
It's so real.
Yeah.
And it's really exciting.
I just want to see. I just want to hang out with one.
You
know what I mean?
You are.
I just want to kick it. I just want to kick. I mean, I am, and I don't even know it yet. I don't even know. I think it would be good. I think we need that. I think we need something big to get it, because we got something big that set everybody off on this wild bullshit tangent that we're on right now. Yeah, that's we already got that big thing. We need something big to happen to get everybody back
together.
Kind of together. Yes. I don't know what that's going to be, but it's sure as fuck not a vaccine. It's not a mandate. It's not it's not going to be a president or a politician.
No.
It's not going to be any humanish thing, I don't think.
No.
What would it be? Let me ask you this. Can we put our brains together and think of a way or some, like, even if it's vague, something, if we have the pandemic here that spurred and catalyzed all these disruptive
separated
energies that cause people to separate and hate each other and be tribal in the worst possible way.
Right.
What pandemic can we have that is for good? Like, what would an event be? Aliens, yes, for sure.
Aliens.
Extraterrestrials, yes.
Yeah.
Is there anything else? Like, what else? And I'm trying to think of historically what good major event has allowed people to align and understand one another. Music, Woodstock, you know what I mean? Like,
right, but not everyone likes the same.
But not everybody likes the same music.
Yeah.
It's kind of always something bad. I remember being a teenager after 9/11. And how together everybody was, and there was so much togetherness, and it was like a universal togetherness.
Right.
And you didn't really have a ton of crazy, even the people that were conspiratorial were still like 3,000 people died, and we feel so bad.
Right.
Also, let's talk to George Bush about this shit.
Right. Like what actually
the
happened.
wackos for 9/11 in the early days after 9/11 weren't super wacko. I don't remember. Not yet. Now there's some wackos that think the planes were holograms and nobody even died, and that's ridiculous. But like the togetherness and the unity, but it came from such a negative event.
It came from a negative thing. And if you think about it, like, the unity was actually only our experience, because I have a lot of Middle Eastern
Right,
friends
that's
who
right.
straight
It
up,
was a
they
very
were getting
uniquely
yelled at
American
them,
experience.
You're Taliban, like
right.
terrorists, like
Yeah,
just
you're right.
because they were
Yeah.
So like there was even a lot of
So even that caused
Yeah.
a different level of division that kind of
Yeah.
gets shadowed by the quote unity that
Yep.
Americans felt,
Yep.
or white American. I don't know how you would say that, but you guys know what I mean.
Whoever the fuck felt what.
Yeah, I wonder what it would. Maybe it is just an
I
extraterrestrial
literally think that's the only
visit.
answer.
I don't know what else we could get. Is
It's
there isn't
not
like a
human.
positive, unless there was a pandemic of a disease that made you happy. You know,
And you couldn't
can we
stop
create
laughing.
that?
Oh my god!
Why haven't we created that?
Because
We
it
can
would
create
work.
COVID in a lab.
Yeah.
We can't create like joy
Yes,
in a
like
lab.
a laughing. Yes, joy
Like
in a
Molly,
lab.
like
Yeah.
like Molly that spreads
Yes.
through
Like
droplets.
laughing gas or like gas, like the
Yeah.
chemtrails. Instead, it's laughing
And
gas.
it's laughing gas, and you're not allowed to wear a mask.
Right.
That's the new rule,
You're not
because
allowed
you
to
have
wear
to
a
breathe
mask.
it in,
Yes.
so that
Yes.
you will feel joy.
And you can be a part
and
of this
elation.
co-creative experience here on Earth.
Exactly,
And
and
if
you'll
not,
love
then
everybody.
you basically hate people.
Oh, you hate people.
So if
Oh,
you
you want
choose-
grandmas to not be
Right,
happy.
yeah,
Right. That's the metaphor. You want everybody's grandma to be sad.
Yeah.
Okay.
You want people to die for no reason.
You're right.
Yeah.
You want people to die from sadness.
Yeah. Great.
Oh, you don't?
That's
Okay,
what
then
it
breathe.
means.
Then go breathe the air.
Right.
Go breathe the air without a mask on.
Right. And if you have any other like reason for it, that it's not valid.
Should we do that? Should we create a
Yeah.
pandemic of happiness?
Yes.
Pandemic of joy?
Yes. Yes.
Jovial 19
I'll be
instead of
working on
COVID
this.
19?
I like that.
That's a good
Jovial.
one. Jovial.
Yeah.
Because COVID,
Right.
but it's different.
But it's different. I'm glad you clarified it. Clarified that part.
Oh my God. What do you have coming up? Do you have any fun announcements or things that people should go watch and
Really
check out?
excited for the retreats that we have coming up. Lots of epic songs coming out.
Cool.
Yeah, new music.
Awesome.
My artist name is Activation.
Mm-hmm.
Spotify, iTunes, all the fun things. I also have that vlog series coming
Yes.
out on YouTube. I'm stoked about
Very
because
cool.
I'm so weird.
Yeah.
No. I'm like really weird.
In a good way.
I think you can kind of tell when you meet me in
100%.
person. Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Really, really weird. I'm even weirder when I'm alone. And so I have finally captured myself, and I'm creating this series. So I'm excited to just like show that version of myself, that extension of myself, be more like expressive in that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
Very
besides
cool.
that, like we got a lot of epic shit coming always.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Amazing. Where can people follow you online? Activation on Spotify and iTunes.
Yes. Activation Vibration on YouTube and Instagram.
And it's at Activation Vibration.
Yes.
And then for the retreats, they're probably on your
They're
Instagram
on
bio.
everything,
You
yeah.
can find it, guys.
You could find it.
Awesome. We'll see you at the Joy Pandemic, everybody.
Yes.
We'll see you there.
We're already there.
We're already there. We're in the middle of the Joy Pandemic.
Yeah.
We're patient zeros.
Yes.
For the Happiness Pandemic.
Yes.
This feels right.
It does
This
feel
feels
right.
good.
And if you see us just randomly laughing and just having a great time and not
Breathe
being
it in.
affected by the sadness of this like
Yeah.
false reality that everyone is being subjected to,
Mm-hmm.
it's because we're a part of a different pandemic.
We're part of a different pandemic.
Yeah.
So come within 6 feet of us
Yes.
and co-create joy with
Come
us.
closer than
Come
6
closer.
feet.
Come closer.
Yeah.
We have a 6-inch mandate. You have to be 6 inches
Within
from
6
everybody else
inches.
at all times.
Regardless of what you're doing.
Right.
Yeah. I like it.
Yay. Okay. Heather, everybody. Yay.
Yes.
Love you.
Love you.
Cool.
Thank you. Grateful.
And that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed. Go check out Heather's music everywhere. Check out her events online. Join her for a retreat. Say hello to the interdimensional beings that she talks to. And check out magnesiumbreakthrough.com/Brent Pella for a special discount and a special gift on your order. Okay? Love each other. Love yourselves. Bye-bye.